much of the heat, man. Like there's unnecessary amounts of it. I just feel like you're missing the point here. Like, what is it that we need to do? Do we need to let's talk about it. Fine. There's a majority of people who don't understand what you're going through. Now, can we all create peace in one way? And then you guys shut the fuck up. You guys shut the fuck up. Okay? Hold on a second. Let's come to a conclusion. We've had man, woman, and there's a trans-toilet. Can we get that? And everybody get elected into power. I only see it happening in America. This big movement about this, blah, blah, blah. But if you go down to the south of India, they've already started. They've been doing it for ages. But it's just that it almost seems like as if this has become a social media marketing. You know, they're just marketing and there's just constant news. There's always something about it. It's just in your face. And I'm just like, okay, just stop. It just feels like you guys are just making a lot of noise. It's like a tantrum. I want attention. Look at me.
Well, it worked, didn't it? It got yours.
Yeah, it did. I did. But I'm just now, when I see it, I'm like, okay, I understand. Like my best friend who's gay who passed away. I've seen the trouble he's gone through. And I'm proud of what he's achieved and what he's accomplished. But he did it in a very respectful way. He did it in such a way that he stood up for himself every fucking day. And I had to, my fight's different, right? My ethnic, background is different. So I know how that feels. I don't know how he felt, but I can relate to the kind of sorrow that it brings to you as an individual. I see that, and I will always stand by that.
Okay.
I would never ever, but I just feel like now it's become a political agenda, and it's the crossfire.
Yeah.
There's this one side, the extreme left, that says that no, this is the way it is supposed to be, fuck you. And then the right guys are like, yeah, but biologically it's man and woman, it's this chromosome and that chromosome, and it's science. And I was like, okay. So you never, there's no, there's no filter on both sides. Everyone's just screaming.
Yeah.
I feel like that's defying the purpose.
Yeah. But that's not going away. It makes money.
Yeah.
And
that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's about that.
There's sociopaths who don't give a fuck about any of the people they're talking about as long as they get money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No matter what the
That's what I'm
is.
saying. Yeah. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay. That's what we want to talk about. Okay.
Yeah, it's about that. It's not about the
issue at hand.
The issue at hand. The issue at hand is what is so much noise.
Okay.
Why is there this noise?
Okay. We're talking about noise then. I can talk about noise.
Yeah.
I can talk about noise. I can't talk about
I got
transgender pedagogy age 5.
No.
No qualifications there.
I'm just a common man watching, what I see online, and I see what people around me are discussing, and when they hear a certain amount of noise on Instagram.
Okay.
Like where it's this trans person who's really out there bashing everything, on the right or in any spectrum. Just bashing. Saying like, yeah, you know what, you guys have no respect for us, so fuck you guys, we don't need you. And I was just like, wow, you're a really bad person. Like, is this how you are going to be spreading insight on transgenderism? Wow. Well, that's shameful.
Well, they talk a lot about, on Instagram or all these social media sites, how they all breed extremism of every kind. So if you are interested in eating more healthily, you'll watch a guy who went from you'll get recommended a guy who went 300 pounds to 125 pounds in 1 year, and he's suddenly muscular and he's got all the saggy skin and everything. And it's like there's not a lot of nuance online. There's just extreme noise for sure.
There's so much noise about everything. But like I said before, it was at a time it was veganism, right? It went into that. It was like everyone should stop eating meat and you have to save the climate. And I was like, what? Is that going to help? Oh, cool. All right, I can do a vegetarian diet. So I switched to a little bit of vegetarian meat sometimes.
Nice.
So I kind of balanced it out, right? But then I started to see that, you fail to see the bigger picture because they just keep talking about veganism and it's pushing it and going into places and, going into steakhouses and just, you guys are fucking animals. And I was like, whoa. Easy, man. You're trying to get, we get that you want attention. It's understood. But,
okay, I totally see your point. I think that we've talked about this before, how I say that the biggest political statement you can make is being yourself everywhere. Being honestly yourself everywhere is your political statement. It's going to make the biggest difference because people are going to meet whatever the hell you are and see that it's cool. When we went to Virginia, we went to Tom wanted to buy a bow and arrow, so we went to a gun shop.
Oh.
And they had signs outside saying like, "Do not ask our vaccine status, Trump Pence, let's go Brandon," which is like fuck Joe Biden, isn't
Yeah.
it? And all sorts of inside on the walls. Love the guys. No problem with us at all. It was cool. "Oh, you come from the UK? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Joe, you should go check out here. If you go along here, you get a lovely view of the valley." Fine. I just think that like you're saying, people in real life, they don't have a problem with each other most of the time.
No. It's absolutely not. But I feel like this is such a powerful engine now that it's like the conquer and divide methodology, right? And it's insane. It's not just okay. Transgenderism was one part of it.
Yeah.
And then there's another section about this. I think the president. I'm not sure who he was. I don't know if he's the president of South Africa. Yeah, talking about Putin and Ukraine, and this is American reporter who's sitting there and interviewing him, and the kind of questions the American puts across is honestly like, oh, so you will support Putin? You're okay with Putin coming to South Africa, and you're okay with that, and you will not arrest him for the war crimes this man has, is charged with. And that guy's like, he's the head of state. You cannot just arrest him by walking into his dorm, like police coming to your house. You can't arrest a head of state like that. You have to come up with solid evidence that you have your side of the end clear. What about you? How many war crimes and how many presidents? How about we go and arrest all of them first? And then you get Putin. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, okay, I see that there's the huge, like a political divide, and all the other things that they drop into our feeds are basically just noise to ignore us from watching that. Like, we're not supposed to see. I really miss like old school news. Like, I feel like that was so much better. Like, you knew what happened, an earthquake of this magnitude hit Japan. Fuck, that's so sad. Oh my God. A famine has, there's no water in LA, or South Africa is dry. A hurricane has visited, or Katrina. That was people with actual problems, and who went through shit. Like, I felt that was more understood, and there was limited amount. Now there's just news everywhere. It's all the time. So I feel like, ugh.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, we remember before 24-hour news cycles, and then there was the 24-hour news channels.
Yeah.
And it'd be like Michael Jackson's death, I think, was the first big one.
Yeah. 2008.
Yeah, and there'd just be like helicopters going over, and he's like, "Yep, is he still dead? Yes, he's still dead." He's not coming back, guys.
Yeah. Okay, it's done.
Yeah.
What are we trying to do now? We're just capturing footage to see. Oh, can we see what's inside? Like, they give you an aerial view.
Yeah.
They give you someone who's standing on the ground. Yes, we're here on the ground, and I was, oh my God.
I mean, like, I think I got really into it around 2016 when Trump got elected, because I was like, what is going on here? Like, what did everyone see in him? So I started listening to the people who supported him and the people who didn't, and that was the first time I really had to learn about politics. And then I would speak to some people who would say, if you say that you're not interested in politics, it's because you're privileged enough to get to not be interested in politics, which is an opinion. It might be true, but then
why?
No, but the thing is, like,
how about we just move from here, create a country like just ours? This has always been a dream of mine. Start a place where this is the set rules, like, basic necessities. These are the things we do here.
Can you kill a guy?
No.
Oh.
That's not. No. Absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
You would not harm anything.
Yeah.
We will live, for what we have, what we have with, what we can make do with. There's cattle, there's, crops, there's everything, there's a maintenance level of everything, and a lifestyle which is just calm. Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to be, this has always been a dream of mine, like a country, a small place where creative souls and people who just wanted to get the fuck away from the noise would just actually go there and just be like, chill. We have no loud fucking, nightlife blasting music in the middle of the night. I know, sorry, we don't have that, but we could in your own house without causing any trouble to the other neighbors. In your house, if you want to experience it, please do. But here, it's all like organic. Music is created and there's people with instruments, blah, blah, blah. You can play, you can be a sculptor, you can write books, garden, paint, just a place where you can just live life maybe without this bullshit, minus that shit out. And how do we make money? We have a reserve that it goes around, right? So we take money from that. Everybody gets the same amount of money, the same money, and you put it back. When you buy stuff, you give it back, and then it comes back. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a give and take. There's no, oh no, wait, I bought it for 50 kroners. And now it's, see, again, now I've gone back there now I'm processing that section. Wait, if I buy something for 50, no, I bought it, I used it, you can have it. I don't want any money for it, take it. All right, you don't need to get something for it, if you know what I mean. Right? And we don't have the kind of place I'm talking about is pretty much utopia, right? It's a creation of that. So everyone's more advanced. We know what our demands and our ego demands us, right? But can we be connected to the purpose of life?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've had those kind of dreams, and it might even be what I was trying to do with the filmmakers, is find my own community of people within Stavanger to hang out with. I read this book called How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy, something like that, I think it was called.
That is an interesting book.
Yeah. It wasn't well written, actually, but the title was great.
Yeah.
But one of the things she talks about was that when people do form these communes, is really interesting. Like, eventually some people split off and do a different one, and then people split off from that one and do another one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always going to happen.
Yeah, so I think we're just restless creatures in general.
We always want something that we don't have, or we want to be, like the say is like, grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
It's always greener, but no one's able to stand in one place and collectively think. I would think like if I had to really talk about it, it'll be like a different planet altogether. Like Superman. Oh my God, what is the name of the planet?
Oh, I can't remember.
God
is he from Krypton?
Yeah, Krypton.
Okay, it's a kryptonite.
Jesus. And I'm a superhero freak. Anyway, like a certain amount of people will guide. It's basically what's going on now, but minus the transaction of money and the noise. Like there is money. We're not here to trade. We're not here to trade and make more shit like that. I think we've already done that. All our generations before us have done it, and they've only been tired. And now it's this fucking residue that is resting on us, and we just need to open the fucking taps and let it run out, and just live peacefully in a way where there will be harmony.
Yeah, well, you can choose to do that. You can choose not to look at your phone. You might have to train it like a habit or something.
No, but
like
it's not the phone alone, right?
Yeah.
The system itself in itself is like that. Like we have. It is I don't want a place where 5 million people. I'm not even thinking of that. I'm thinking like it's got to be a very rights of admission reserved, kind of place. Like, are you a creative person? What can you do creatively? What do you do? A panel of people who watch and experienced people, of course, like elders.
Yeah.
Like people who know what's good and stuff. And they're like, there's potential there. There's something there. But then they would find discrimination there too. Like anybody, you see, they would always find a problem.
There's imperfections everywhere.
But fuck that. We stay on point. We say that no, we're here to bring about change, and the change here is that you do it the way this land, not dictating it, but requesting you to be polite about it. But then humans are humans. Crime is always going to be there. Some sort of shit will happen. And then somebody has to step in and take over. And okay, now you go to jail.
Everyone will drink Kool-Aid and they all go, wow. Like in Jonestown.
I mean, aren't we too far from that? We're so far. I feel like I'm talking about more like a futuristic ideology where minimalist, like very minimalist also in up here. Like our minds are capable of doing so many things. We're so smart and we're so advanced, but we're still stuck in a primitive age of quarreling with each other and, hey, my voice is better than yours. I was like, oh my God, come on. Can we transcend? Can we move? Like, I feel like there's an outcry. People do that now. Like, they buy a house in a far off place and they just stay there with their dogs and cattle. And they just seem to be like, yeah, whatever.
Just running away.
Yeah, off the grid.
Do you know, I can't remember if this is true or not, or if it was a story or whatever, but there's this guy, Bruce Wagner, he writes stories about like the Kardashians and stuff. He writes novels, but the Kardashians are in them, and it's like a really cool, he's a very, very clever guy, and it's kind of funny that he spends all of his time with this really superficial pop culture. But I was reading an interview with him, and he was talking about cave monks, like people who run into caves to be really reclusive and they don't want to be away from everyone, but they still want to be known as the most reclusive cave monk by everyone else around. It's like we have this
this thing within us,
this desire to be known. I mean, I always like, every now and then I'll imagine myself being interviewed by someone about something I've made.
Yeah.
I'll just imagine myself being in front of an audience now, and then next year I'll imagine myself having made something else. And I'll think of what I would have said last year and how silly I think that is. It's like this constantly self-generating thing.
That could also be like our sense of conditioning, right? That's how we've been raised. We've always seen that. And if you want to achieve something, you have to do it like this, and you got to be at it. You got to be consistent and disciplined, and then when you get the name and the fame, you're like, oh yes, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, man, I know it's hard. It's almost like a serotonin dopamine hit.
It's just a silly fantasy, I think, that we all have them, like, where one day everyone turns around and they were always wrong about you, and then like they
were like,
parade you down the street or whatever.
Wow, what a genius, bro! Like, come on.
I think I think you're right that we have lots of different impulses that I'm not really sure what purpose they serve, or that you are supposed to resist them. I was talking to Ozan about this yesterday because, like, we were talking about how I don't think either of us are people who really care that much about other people's opinions, but it's not good to be around very opinionated people for a lot of time. You were talking about when we have the students' premiere and everyone wants to run up and tell you something that's wrong with it, and you're like, even if that's helpful, like, I still don't want to hear it,
Yeah,
I'm still a human being. I've got to go home.
Yeah, just wait. Like, think about it. Your impulsive nature is to go, but dude, I think the audio there was a little shaky.
Yeah.
Next time you do audio, just call me. And I was like, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. Can you just watch the movie? Just be here.
Oh, but none of them ever say next time you do audio, just call me. No, there's no helpful addition to it. There's just, you fucked up. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah. It's really helpful.
I see what you mean. Like, but I was just, for me, students was just like, wow, I had an opportunity to do it, and I was in it, and I was just so excited, and of course, there's so many things I saw in it, but dude, it's done. Like, you're at the premiere.
There's a few things
just few things anybody would want to change, but this is what the story wanted then, and that's what you captured, and that's it, and that's the beauty of it, and that should stay there. And what you want to do with it, that's your product. What you want to do with it, that's up to you. No one should dictate to you, oh, I think you should do it like this. Well, anyway, you fucked up, so fuck you.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, yeah, I think as a result, I think social media has pushed a lot of primitive impulses into hyperdrive that we're talking about. Like, I feel people, especially if I meet new people, I feel a bit scared that they might be like politically agitated in a way. I feel like people are really motivated to take like activism on an individual basis everywhere in ways that are not very well informed. Like, if you don't know what you're doing and you run out and start bashing something with a hammer, like, maybe that was useful in a way you didn't know. I'm scared somebody's going to come at me for something I'm doing, because we can always do that to one another. There's always different things that we could do better, differently. People are always going to have different opinions on where someone else should be focusing their time or energy.
Yeah.
And they probably will never align with that. So you can always just be like, you should be doing more of this. You should be doing more of that. You should not have engaged so heavily in this. I mean, here it's why aren't you learning Norwegian all the time? Why aren't you learning Norwegian? Why aren't you learning Norwegian? So my strategy, at least with my club, because that's where I'm in control of the attitudes, more or less, is to say that, we celebrate people based on their abilities. We don't pick at them based on things they haven't done yet. So that's doing that, I think, I don't know if that comes naturally to a lot of people. I think it's a mature thing to do. It's a non-narcissistic thing to do, because narcissism, I think, requires that you put other people around you down, right? So you're constantly looking at how they're deficient compared to you. And narcissism encourages that, which is not good for communities, right? So yeah, there's but I'm subject to all the same impulses we're talking about. I'm not above anyone who does this. I just and it comes back when I'm tired. Like, as you saw, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I was in a state. I was in a terrible mood about everything. I was probably not going to be mature, calm, composed in the way and have these values that I'm talking about that I try to instill. I'm not always capable of doing it all the time, but generally my idea is, celebrate people, leave them
celebrate
alone.
people, be kind, give up people opportunity. You're doing that, man. You gave me an opportunity, so here we are.
Yeah, and then you're going to give me one when we make a short film. Yeah,
we're just keep doing what you got to do and keep doing it nicely.
Just
be kind and like, even if I have a problem with this person, like I said, just going back to that, like this transgender person who was yapping, and I said that, oof.
Okay.
Could you stop?
Yeah.
Like, when you see something icky, you just feel like, ugh, can you just please don't?
Yeah.
Yep. So when it's if I saw that person in person, like physically right there, I would never talk down. But I can't guarantee that from her side.
It's
because they're going to just make me, if I say anything that is remotely true to me, or like not offensive, but like, if let's just say that I was like, if I just said it like, I'm a man, what a gentleman, what a lack of, chivalry. Let me pull the chair for you. If I said that, I don't need your help, like, I can imagine that already happening. Like, I would feel like, okay, so, I can be kind from my end, but I'm not sure how I would be able to sit down and against her.
Yeah.
And understand that. You see, I'd probably be a little defensive. Because I wouldn't
see
know.
What you're saying, yeah.
I wouldn't know how they would respond.
Yeah.
And I obviously don't want to be a bad vibe against us.
You don't want to be disrespectful or anything.
No, I just want to be like, dude, I have my opinions. I've said it.
Yeah.
But if you sit in front of me, I'm not going to deny you the right to be you. You're allowed to be you, absolutely. But that does not mean that you can sit there and disrespect me. That's where I would draw the line, because I put up boundaries. I think humans, we all have boundaries. We need those things, right? So I think kindness is always the way forward. Like, even if in my situation, like I'm just be aware of the things you say to somebody when you're present.
Yeah.
Like, you have control of that.
Yeah.
But whatever you feel inside about yourself, about that person or that particular situation, I would say give it time. Let it rest and see how you can be of use to that person. Can you help that person with something? Can you not? Then shut the fuck up. And just leave, because that person took all that effort to create something there.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something beautiful. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Go home, think about it.
Yeah.
And if you think that you could do a better job, suggest. And go there, and even if you think you can do a better job, there's a way to do it, right? Like, there's a way to ask. Like, Leo, can I help you with this? I feel like both of us can do something here. Can we talk about it? If the person says no, respect that and move on. Don't be like, oh, you know what? I tried to help him, man. Fuck that guy. Like, you see, again, it's counter-effective, right?
I have no problem with anyone. Like, I have no enemies. I've forgiven anyone who's ever done anything, mostly for myself.
Yeah.
Who's got the time to go around being mad at other people? Like, it's a waste of my time more than anyone else's. But also, even in this conversation we've already had, where you're talking about political violence, teaching about transgender people to children, what to do about sports, what to do about bathrooms and stuff. There's so many different things I don't know anything about that have been revealed to me even in this chat now. And I think it gets easier as you get older to understand the real depths that all these different conversations go. And it gets easier to assume that you don't know what's going on when you meet somebody new. And also that, they've been them for however old they are. So if they tell you, I'm like this, then God, you should probably believe them, you know, because they would know better than anyone, you know.
Yeah, because
and if they change their mind later, cool. I've certainly changed my mind about myself, because like when this whole I don't know, like an example is like I came out when I was 13. It seemed really important to me to tell my parents because I thought I'm living a life. They don't know because I've always been a really serious guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But it's I think it must be one of my assets. But I've always been very serious, so it seemed very important to me that everyone knew. Now, I don't even know why it's so important that anyone knows anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm in a long-term relationship. It doesn't mean anything. My sexuality doesn't mean anything to anyone because nothing's going to happen, right? But why is it so important to lock off opportunities? You know, like I'm 34. Okay, I've never met a woman that I've been attracted to, so probably I never will. But why is it so important to categorize anything, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like my brother,
Yeah.
he was, I don't think he lost his, I don't even know if that term, virginity. Well, in my terms, I would say he never got laid till he was about late. I'm not going to say when.
Okay.
Because in case he's watching this, he's going to slap me across the face.
Sure. It's his business, but...
Yeah, but he was late.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I was super early. Yeah. I went into the game much earlier. I was just like, where the buffet at? I'm going in. I'm going right in. So I went in quite early, right? So he was fashionably late. But anyway, that's just my point of view on it. Fashionably late.
Yeah.
When I say it, I hear it now. I was like, why? He chose that time, that person. And that's his thing.
Yep.
Nobody else is responsible for the way he feels. So if he wants to do it like that, that's his thing.
Yep.
So just let it be. As long as he's not beating the shit out of somebody and robbing someone or killing anyone or doing any sort of harm, that should be allowed, right? That should be fine. But you see, there's a stigma to it, there's a taboo to it, there's some sort of fucking shit. And then it doesn't really matter. Like what you said. Now your sexuality is nobody's business. Who are you married to? I'm married to him for the last 10 years.
Yep.
Oh, so you guys are shut the fuck up.
Well, it's fine. I mean... You
understood what it is. So calm down and move on.
But that's... Yeah.
It's small talk, right? It almost feels like when you meet somebody who doesn't know you. It's a little bit of a different... Kom there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm...
Kira, kom her. Nej.
That's all right. She can say hi. I've got...
Kom there.
No?
No.
Right.
She has... she's probably going to throw up.
Oh, okay. All right, go throw up somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I have enough self-worth and enough of a support network now that if anyone took issue with it, I would just walk away and not feel bad about it.
No.
Though, even, like... Some people have been trying to get involved in this Project the Scavengers film that we're making. And they were like, I don't want to make fun of addicts, so I won't take part. I was like, that's fine, like, that's their opinion, it's okay. But I take it really personally when I hear that. I'm like, how dare you not want to be part of my film? But then give me a few days and I'll go, it's fine, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But
expectations, right?
I don't know, what's my point is that sometimes rejection from other people or acceptance by them does rile me or motivate me more than it should, you know?
Yeah, it could be. There's so many different I'm still trying to figure out what and why. Like, why do I feel a certain impulse to certain things? Why am I offended? Why do I feel bad about it? Like, what's really going on?
It's great that you're asking yourself these questions.
Yeah, I ask myself this every minute of my day, every waking minute, like even when I'm cleaning, blah, blah, these are the things I think about. I'm like, why am I so offended by this? Or why do I need to feel that way about that person? Even though that person did not do anything good for me. Why was I associated? Was my kindness being used against me? Is it, am I being taken advantage of? What is it? Or who do I have to answer to? You see, there's so many different things. And then I'm just like, no, I only have to answer to me. I have no obligation to answer to anybody as long as I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So if I can fix my actions as I go, I think that would be the first thing that people should be taught in school. Like, fix your actions as you go. Don't wait. And If you knew you did something wrong, try and fix it before it gets too late. I've reached out to a friend of mine from maybe 20 years ago. I knew that I kind of fucked up real bad with him, and I've tried to reach out to him so many times, right? But he does not want to let it go. So I guess I'll find him at some point in my life. And maybe I'll express my... Well, I have expressed my forgiveness. Not my forgiveness, sorry. I've asked for forgiveness. But yeah, I think I've learned a lot through that. And I think it's very important that asking yourself these things every day just gives you a lot more peace. Like, because then at least you know that you're not a you're not a crazy
sociopath, psychopath.
You're just like, no, it's because empathic, right? You care. Like I don't associate myself with a lot of people. I have a lot of acquaintances, but if I call friends, it's a handful of them. And that's it, that's good for me. Those are the ones I share. Like if I talk to you, I'll tell you everything. This same conversation would not happen with somebody else I just met, or if I don't want to share, I don't share.